Welcome back. In this lesson we are going to talk about what makes a good website. Your website is extremely important. Why do you need a website? Well, everyone is on social media, so why do we need a website? The reason we need a website is because we are in charge of the website. We control it. Social media, sites like Facebook, Instagram, etc. Yes, you've got to have a presence on there, but Facebook and Instagram control them and control how many times people see your images, etc. Where with a website you control it yourself, and it's effectively your shop window. Remember the shop window we showed you in the previous module. So when I say a shop window, it's important that your website is a good website. You don't want a crappy, horrible shop window like that one there, right? It needs to be something classy. It needs to represent your brand, and it needs to convert people from just inquiries to actual bookings. What website platforms are available? Let's think about that to start with. You probably all saw adverts for Wix. Well-known brand nowadays. Used to have a poor reputation at the start, of really upped their game the past few years, much better than what they were. It used to be associated with free website was Wix website. Squarespace, another one. You'll have probably seen their stuff on TV. They do a lot of advertising on TV. Nice platform, easy to work with. SmugMug is another one, particularly designed with photographers in mind. SmugMug is a platform that also allows you to sell photographs as well as a website content platform as well. And similarly, another one called Zenfolio, which is another photographer type website. My preferred one is WordPress. The reason I prefer WordPress, it's much more, you can do so much more with WordPress. There's not a single thing you'll find in a website you can't do in WordPress, where you may come up against limitations in other platforms. WordPress has this amazing plugin architecture, so if you ever need to get something done on your website, make it do a certain thing, there'll be a plugin available that can help it do it. Now, we're not talking about WordPress.com here. WordPress.com is a free service offered by the people behind WordPress, but that's not the same as WordPress itself, which is effectively what's called a self-hosted platform, where you control the whole platform on your domain name. Why do I recommend WordPress? Scalability, first of all. If you start to get a few visitors to your site, WordPress is much easier to cope with in terms of the amount of traffic it can handle. It's much more flexible. We've got this plugin architecture I spoke about earlier. The performance on it is amazing compared to other platforms. WordPress is very tight, runs extremely well, and the searchability of it. What I mean by that is how good WordPress is a platform in terms of getting yourself noticed on Google. Every year there's a competition amongst all the search engine gurus to rank. They run this competition to rank their website first for a particular set of keywords. And every year for the past, as long as I can remember, the top 20 have all been WordPress-based websites. So there's a reason for that. So that's why I recommend WordPress. To use WordPress, you need to find a hosting mechanism. Again, some of you have already got this. You can skip past this lesson if you don't feel it's relevant, but if you want to hear about other hosts and you're not happy with your particular host, this might help. So say WordPress site is self-hosted. You have to host it on your own website. Most hosting companies nowadays actually offer WordPress pre-installed because it's such a well-known platform. So it's a very common platform. There's hardly a host out there that won't pre-install WordPress for you. So it's much easier to do than it used to be. One hosting platform I have used myself in the past is Bluehost. Very, very inexpensive, cheap if you like, but they offer reasonable performance for the money. So if you're just getting started, take a look at Bluehost. They do a good site platform for very little cost. One I'm currently using myself is Elementor. Elementor are well known for a designer tool which used in WordPress, but they now are offering a hosting service alongside their Elementor Pro product, which is Google Cloud based. That's a nice solution. There's a lot of things get done in that. It does automatic backups and stuff, and you can go in and do your own backups. So it's more of a managed platform. I do recommend it. The guys at Profoto have been around for years. They were actually the theme I used on my photography websites. There used to be Profoto was a photographer's theme that you would put on WordPress. The way WordPress works is you've got the WordPress platform, which is the mechanics of the platform, and you have a theme that sits on top of it, which is a design element of WordPress. So Profoto used to offer these themes that targeted specifically at photographers, so all the things that we wanted in it. It was a great theme that you could use. Nowadays, they have actually become a hosting platform, so if you want a Profoto theme, you've actually got to host your website with them. They are very good, great support. They offer some beautiful websites, so it's worth taking a look at, and their website address is pro.photo. WP Engine is another host platform I highly recommend. For me, they are the Rolls Royce of hosting companies. They're just a little bit more expensive, but the support's out of this world. And the speed and performance you get from your website, you can throw anything at it. Your website will always run great. It's a superb platform. What makes a good theme to put on your WordPress? To get the design in. As I said, WordPress requires the theme to be installed to get your basic design. Elementor's cloud hosting we spoke about includes a bunch of ready-to-use themes. So if you went down that road and used Elementor, their cloud hosting, they actually have a preset bunch of theme kits, they call them, which are ready to run. You just click install, and suddenly you've got a nice theme there, and you just need to then go in and tweak your branding and colours and the photographs. Other well-known themes out there, Divi is extremely popular, particularly amongst photographers. It's a theme, you can just Google Divi and you'll be able to find it. Can't remember the cost off the top of my head, but it's not too expensive. Elementor, I've mentioned. Flow Themes is another one I recommend and use. I've used in the past, it's good. And Astra, another popular one along similar kind of idea to Divi. Remember, a good theme does not necessarily make a good website. You've still got to get your own design assets in there. It's not just magic, you press a button, you've got a theme installed and it's done. It's not as easy as that. In fact, I think you might find it quite, at first, a little bit soul destroying looking for themes, because you go and install them and they just don't look anything like what their demonstration looks like. You've actually got to sit down and plug in all your own design assets, your logo, your branding, your own photographs, and it takes a little bit of time. You've got to plan some time to do this and to get it as. So many photographers say to me, I can't understand, I can't build my business, and I go and look, and the first thing I see is their website is awful. So this is how important it is. It's got to be good. You've got to make decisions on the general layout, obviously, of your site. Where do you want things to be? There's a thing we talk about above the margin, right, above the fold. So when you first go into a website, what appears there before you have to start scrolling, things like that you've got to think about. You've got to build your site menus, what pages are going to sit where. So there's a lot to do in the design. So I always say sometimes it's best just get a A4 paper and draw a sketch of what you want your website to look like. You want an image at the top? Do you want a little slideshow at the top? Where do you want blocks of text? Where do you want images here and a text beside it, or images full wide? Just sketch it out, and that will really help when it comes to doing the layout. Remember though, text is what helps Google rankings, so allow room in your design for text, and I mean a lot of text. Try and get 1,200 pages of text on your homepage on your website. What does make a good website is a professional logo, obviously. Fixed colour profiles and palettes to match your brand. So we spoke about branding a couple of lessons back, and remember I showed you a little Thing from a designer which has all the colour codes for your branding. You need to plug those colour codes into the website so your branding is accurately reflected in your website. Always have an about page. So the first page clients will typically look for after the home page. They want to know a bit about you. So the about page is very important. Contact page, of course, make it easy for clients to contact you. Also include some info in the footer. I used to make sure that on the footer of every web page on my site, you've got my phone number and you've got my address. That helps clients find me easily. It also helps Google find you easily. Your portfolio, of course, this is your showcase, remember. We spoke about in the last lesson, you've got to flaunt it, push it out there. You don't necessarily need a blog, but if you don't have a blog, you will need other content. You will need quite a bit of content on your website, but you don't necessarily need a blog, so don't worry about it too much if you say, oh, I'm not going to have time to do a blog, and that's fine, absolutely fine. Make sure it's easy to navigate, right? Lead people through your website with the way where you put text links and things and where you put the menus. Booking a wedding photographer is not a one-click process, it's a journey. So you lead your website visitors on a journey through your website. Make sure it works on mobile. As photographers, we typically sit in front of desktop computers or laptops and we forget to then grab the mobile and take a look at what the website looks like in that, because it will look very different. So make sure it works well on mobile. You've got to remember that what you see in your desktop, you don't want to look the same as that on mobile. It's got to change so the menus are bigger, the text is bigger to read, etc. So, most modern themes can cope with this, but you've always got to check it. Sell the sizzle, not the sausage on your website. We all talk about features, years of experience. I'm a photographer with years of experience. I'm fully insured. I'm a member of ABC Society. But you've got to sell the benefits. This is a sizzle part, right? You've got to sell the benefits. What does years of experience mean? Years of experience means I know what happens at weddings and I can plan for the unexpected. Fully insured means if the worst thing happens, I can protect you. So I'm selling the benefit of that feature of being fully insured. If anything happens to me, I have a group to help assist. That's why I'm a member of ABC Society. These are the benefits. So remember, don't just list features of why people should pick you, pick the benefits. Everything you write, keep saying to yourself, so what? So what? Always think, so what? I've written this piece of text, so what? What else do I need to tell the reader here? And that'll help you in your writing. Use aspirational content. Remember, you want bride and grooms to want to be in your images, so feature the best venues, feature the most attractive looking couples. I know people nowadays, there's a whole thing about we're against body shaming and stuff, and I totally get that. But look at any advertising in magazine and TV, they use the most attractive looking couples for that reason, because that's what we all aspire to be, I'm sure some of you will say, oh, that's very vapid, and it is, but it's just a fact of life. Feature details with the designer brands. If you've bought photographs of bottles of perfume and stuff, make sure it's designer perfume, not just the cheap stuff that they got in some little show. Feature the best wedding dresses. If you've got a bride that went to town on a wedding dress, make sure that's featured on your website. Feature your awards. If you've got awards, get them on your website, show them off. Make your visitor want to imagine themselves in your images. They want to book you, they want to see themselves in these images. Excuse me. Here's an example of a great website. Jerry Gionis. He sells extremely aspirational content. You just look at his images and they are to die for, world class. Everybody would love to be photographed by Jerry. This website's actually a site built by a company called goodgallery.com, and they can build a site for you as well. You give them your brand, what your colouring is, your images, a few images, your logo, and the text that you want, and they'll go and design a site for you. So that's maybe an option to look at. Another great photographer and a guy that really knows how to structure a website is Kevin Mullins. He's one of the top documentary photographers in the UK, and he really knows how to work search optimization as well. That website was built in Squarespace, and anytime I say to people, what their website should look like, I would say go and look at Kevin Mullen's website, and if you can get something like that, you're on your way. Here's a photographer that knows exactly how to target their ideal client, and gets them in their sites right away. This is a stunning website. The text and everything is just wonderful. She obviously goes for a particular type of couple, and you can see that right away on the website. It's a great website. That one's done in Squarespace, as was Kevin's, actually, Kevin Mullins as well. Barry Downley, another great photographer. He really knows how to drop in iconic locations into his website to attract his target client. He gets a lot of overseas clients, and he always features a lot of London kind of locations and iconic things, and he does a great job of selling his services because of that. It's great. That's a WordPress site as well, and that's using the Divi theme we spoke about earlier. So that's some samples for you, something to aspire to yourself. So look at people's websites, study them, spend a bit of time in it. Again, we are photographers, we're not website designers. If you need to hire a professional, go and do it. Use sites like Upwork, Fiverr.com. You might be surprised at what work you can get done for a relatively low amount of money, and it's worth spending money on. Okay, well, thanks again for your time, and we will see you in the next lesson.